For generations, we have been taught to trust the news. To believe that what we read in our papers and see on our screens is an objective reflection of the world. But what if the truth was not just reported, but manufactured? What if a hidden hand was composing the very soundtrack to our reality? That hand was the CIA. This network was known by a code name, Wisner's Wurlitzer. A vast secret media empire. The propaganda assets inventory. At its peak, it controlled over 500 news organizations, publishers, and radio stations worldwide. And as one insider described, it allowed the CIA, at the push of a button, to orchestrate, in almost any language, anywhere in the world, whatever tune the CIA was in a mood to hear. They didn't just influence the news. They owned, subsidized, or infiltrated newspapers and magazines across the globe. From the Rome Daily American to the Manila Times. From the Japan Times to the Bangkok Post. The thread that linked them all was money. And, as the investigation found, the money frequently bought a measure of editorial control, often complete control. They placed their agents directly into newsrooms. Agents like David A. Phillips, who later became the CIA's Western Hemisphere chief, used press credentials from the Times of Havana as cover for espionage. One official boasted, "We had at least one newspaper in every foreign capital at any given time." They secretly funded Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty, using front groups like the Free Europe Committee as a mask. They even ran clown show operations, like Radio Swan, a Caribbean propaganda station so poorly disguised as a steamship company that it started getting legitimate advertisers, forcing the CIA to actually run ads to maintain its flimsy cover. But the manipulation went deeper than headlines. This was a war for the mind. The CIA subsidized over 1,000 books, working with publishers like Prager and Scribner's, to push specific narratives into academic and literary circles. They used front organizations like the Congress for Cultural Freedom and the Asia Foundation to funnel money and control the global intellectual discourse. But this wasn't just about promoting a worldview. It was about creating a false reality to justify political and military action. In the 1980s, a story appeared on the front page of the New York Times, claiming Russian MiG fighter jets were being delivered to Nicaragua. It was a blockbuster scoop. But it was also a lie. CIA whistleblower David McMichael later revealed, the story was entirely fabricated by the CIA to build support for U.S. intervention. The playbook was used again in 2011. As the U.S. moved against Libya, a horrifying story spread. Gaddafi was supplying his troops with Viagra to encourage mass rape. The global media amplified it, stoking public outrage. But it was later admitted that there was in fact no evidence whatsoever to back up these assertions. It was a modern propaganda hoax, straight from the Wurlitzer's playlist. And the CIA's greatest fear, blowback. They were terrified that their own propaganda, planted in foreign newspapers, would be picked up by American reporters and fed back to the U.S. public, corrupting the very democracy they claimed to protect. And it happened. Outlets like the Washington Post subscribed to the CIA-owned news service, Forum World Features. The agency had to frantically work to ensure its own fake news wasn't consumed by the American people it was supposedly not allowed to target. So, what happens when journalists get too close to the truth? They are silenced. When documentary filmmakers tried to publish the names of 2 CIA officers involved in the torture program, names found in public records, the agency threatened them with legal action. A law designed to protect covert agents was being used to intimidate journalists. This collusion isn't just about threats. It's about cooperation. The Washington Post itself admitted it had for years withheld the name of a key CIA officer, Alfreda Bukowski, at the direct request of the agency. The gatekeepers were working with the very people they were supposed to be watching. The Wurlitzer of the 1950s never truly stopped playing. It just upgraded its technology. As the investigation concludes, it is no longer disputed that the CIA has maintained an extensive and ongoing relationship with news organizations and journalists. By shaping or fabricating the news, the agency sets the policy that drives the American war machine. The fabricated MIGs, the Viagra hoax, these are not anomalies. They are the pattern. This is the real conspiracy, not theories in the dark. A documented, institutionalized machine for mass mind control. As long as the public ignores this influence, the machine will continue to run. The question is no longer if our perception is being managed, but what tune the Wurlitzer is playing for us today, and who is pushing the buttons